When we were kids, we loved superheroes and we loved imagining how it would be like to have superpowers and how great it would be to do anything without being afraid. And there's a lot of great superheroes, but actually the one that really portrays blind people is Daredevil. And do blind people have superpowers like Daredevil? Can we dodge everything that's thrown at us? Can we literally be martial artists, fighters, and just be normal during the day like Daredevil was, being a lawyer and doing his own thing, and at night he was someone different. There's a big secret that you need to know about blind people that has never been told, and it's the reason why there's so many of us. And if you really want to know this secret, you have to stay to find out what it is. Why do you think there's only a few blind people? Why do you think people rarely know who we are or where we live, or they're surprised because we exist? And the reason is that we were part of an experiment in the 1960s, and the parents were took and genetics were put into the parents to see how blind people would react and if they would have the superpowers of Daredevil. They decided to put us in this room when we were growing older and let the dolphins train us so we could do echolocation and figure out where we are and how to get things done. And honestly, if you believed it and if you stayed here, I'm just having fun and I'm just kidding. It's not real. I'm not serious about it. I'm being sarcastic, but that is something that would be exciting to think about. I mean, being trained by the dolphins or dolphin trainers would be so cool. There are blind people that have echolocation, that know where things are by listening to the vibrations around them. But we are not trained to do this. Not yet, at least. There's no one teaching us anything. There's these people that actually know how to do it. Blind people know how to ride a bike, and a lot of people would be like, that must be a superpower if they have echolocation and know everything around them. But to be honest, it's called hyper awareness. Just knowing where everything is, knowing your surroundings, and knowing how to use your other senses, because honestly, everyone just uses their eyes to see, and what about the other 4 or the other 5 for that matter? You don't use them because you don't really care about them. You mostly use your eyes for everything, to look at food, to look at people, to look at everything. And certain things, you don't need your eyes. You don't need your eyes to look into your purse and grab anything from your purse. You don't need your eyes to see if something's good, if food is good. You just have to taste it. I mean, that's why chefs are there, to prepare for you. And also, look at it because they see that you are staring at it, but that doesn't give you the information that you need. Blind people don't need to count their steps. That's a misconception. You just memorize it because you walked that route many times. It literally engraves into your mind. I believe that if you do certain things many, many times, your body is like a GPS and it understands it. And the best way I could really explain it would be like, when you do something again and again, like a repetitive task, go to school, or a routine, go to work, you already have it engraved. It doesn't require that much thought. Or for instance, if you can see, if you drive, you don't hardly have to think about how you're driving. You look at the go slow signs, or you look at the lights and you know they have to go slow, and you just do it. You just drive without thinking, I gotta press the gas, it's just natural for you. Same with us, it's just natural. And people think that, have this curiosity to be like, what if they have superpowers? I'm just gonna throw stuff at them and see if I could catch it. And honestly, that is something that you should never ever do, because you don't just randomly throw something at a person. And that happened to me before. We were in PE and these guys, lucky I could see still, one guy just whispers to the other guy something, and I could see that they were looking at me, and I was like, I wonder what they're gonna do. And I kind of knew that they were gonna throw the ball at me. He threw the ball and probably thought, oh, I bet you she's not gonna catch it. And luckily enough, I caught the ball, but it's not because I sensed it or anything. I guess I kind of did. I just knew that the ball was coming and I caught it. But if I didn't catch it, that ball could literally have hit me in the face. And that would have been embarrassing for me. That would have been embarrassing for that dude. And honestly, that is something that a lot of people shouldn't do. I was just a kid, so it didn't really matter. And we were kids at that time. So it's just like having the knowledge that you shouldn't just guess what someone can and can't do, because if you guess wrong, you could literally hurt someone. A lot of people just dream about people having superpowers, or if you ever watch Superhumans, you're amazed about how people can do, and it is amazing and it is a skill that people have. However, we all have this ability to be hyper aware, like know our surroundings if we were to close our eyes, or memorize a route, or just really have the power of discernment and know when someone's lying, because everyone can do it. And only because you're blind doesn't mean you have these extra senses, that you have super hearing, that you know when someone's lying to you, know how to get from point A to point B. It's just something that is natural, and it's something that with more use you adapt to it, and you have to use it more and more. It's like the muscle, that part of your brain probably turns on when you lose a sense or losing one of your senses. You have to rely on other parts of yourself that you really didn't know how to use. Obviously, the media has really portrayed blind people in so many ways. Daredevil was really cool, really good, but then however people think that blind people have superpowers and blind people can do this or that, and then they portray blind people in a way that we can't do a lot of things, that we're helpless. So which one is it? We have superpowers and independent? Are we powerless or dependent of other people? And this is where the line is being drawn, and this is where I want to undraw the line and really focus on that. Not only because we are blind, we are helpless. We are powerful, and everyone's powerful in a way. And you need to understand that there is this uniqueness in everyone, regardless if you are blind or not. And we all have a certain strength or power, whatever you may think, that we know how to use better. I mean, not better, but know how to utilize in certain situations. And we just need to hone into it and make it stronger and understand it, and understand that we don't need to hold on to this fantasy that media has portrayed about blind people, because in certain situations you can't just think that blind people have powers and do things to mess with us and mess with other people in general. That is not something that you should do. That's not something you should ever think that is funny or think that you can get away with, because what kind of person will you be later in the future? Is that the type of person you want to be, and is that the type of person you want your kids to be? And when you're younger, you don't think about these things, and I'm probably talking to younger audiences, and maybe you're like, okay, this video is so boring, where's all that superpower stuff you promised me? But it's something that you need to get, and it's something that you need to understand, because time is moving really fast, and there has to be a point of being able to respect all types of people, not just blind people, and understanding that you are not better than anybody else, regardless of their gender, race, disability, or any of their racial backgrounds. You are the same. You are like everyone else, no matter who you are. And you need to understand that you cannot put yourself on a pedestal and think that you deserve more than everyone, because you are just the same, and you need to have that level of compassion. You gotta care about people and think about how what you said or what you did will affect that person, which is me and anyone else. No one will teach you this in school, and no one will teach you this at home. So why can't I just share this information? And I'm not saying listen to me and you gotta follow this, but you have to listen and understand That way, if you ever bump into a person that can see, well, you all have more knowledge and understanding. It's not a superpower. It's just hyper awareness of your surroundings. And some people will be able to see the ball coming like you probably would if someone were to throw something at you and catch it, and other people won't, which will then you can hurt other people and you will embarrass yourself or do anything other than throwing. You could probably want to hit a person and be like, well, what if they dodge it like Daredevil? But no, just be aware and mindful about what you do every day, because it affects people every day. And your actions have a reaction, and you have to understand that. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, subscribe and like the video because it helps me with the algorithm. And I'll see you next time.